One of the most interesting architectural features in public architecture is the roof. When you have an accessible roof and you have some kind of landscape and walkways and interesting features on the roof, it will elevate your project to the next level. And this is the inspiration behind today's tutorial. I like the curves in this project, so I will try to use similar curves, but I will try to create my own version of the landscape itself. Welcome to day 9 of 30 scripts in 30 days. Let's start. So in this tutorial I will start from scratch, so I will go to SubD and I want to create some plan, and for now I'm using 11 by 1 and I will start from the 0, and probably I will try to make it 200, something like this, and 30, so I will end up with something like this. And I'm going to somehow create a similar curves for what we have done for the example that we have looked at. So this I'm going to move it. I'm going to select the third one. I'm going to move it 20 probably, and I'm going to select this one. I'm going to move it 20 also, and I'm going to select this one and I'm going to move it 30, so it's more, and I'm going to select this one. I'm going to move it 30, and then I'm going to select this, all of these, and probably 1.2 as a scale, and I'm going to select these maybe and scale them as 0.5, scale them 0.5 so they are wider in this area. And also this one we might just make them smaller so we have wider zones in here, and maybe those two I'm going to select them and make them 0.5, so we will start with a smaller zone and end with a smaller zone. And for now I'm going to crease the start and the end, and we will end up with something like this. If you feel it's too much, maybe you can just shrink it a little bit, and I think this one is better. And I'm going to go to here, and for now I will not make a very huge building because I don't want to make it like exactly like this one, which is very huge. But for now I will assume that this is just a small building, so maybe 3 or 4 story height. So for now I'm going to move this probably, let's say 10 meters, and then I'm going to move these two. I'm going to move them 5, so it will start from the ground and then it will start build its way up to here. Maybe those two, because they feel a little bit off, so I'm going to move them 2.5 so the transition feels more natural, like this. And maybe I will reduce the whole Gumball relocate, and I'm going to add the gumball to here, and maybe just 0.75, maybe not as high as this, maybe something like this. It depends on your own approach or your own design, but for now my own focus is the roof itself, so I'm going to create just some facades for this. So I'm going to create something like this, and for now I'm going to select those and select those and just scale them like that, and probably select those ones and just move them a little bit, maybe move them 3 meters, something just enough, and move those also 3 meters, and I will end up with something like this. And I think right now we can just select everything, all of these, and Gumber relocate and go to this and just flatten. So I will end up with something flattened in this zone, which is exactly what I want. Maybe those two are too much, so I will close them like this. Maybe I will try to make it 0.9, 0.8. 0.8 is fine, and I think in the other side also 0.8 is fine. And right now this is great. Maybe if you want you can just increase like those big ones a little bit more. It depends on your design. Yeah, for now I'm happy with this. I will not continue with the model itself. All I care about at this point is the roof. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to create an inset, and for now I will make it 1 meter because maybe the facades and all the details and all the things, maybe it will be between 0.5 and 1 meter. So for now I will just keep it 1 and eliminate. Actually, let's keep it like that, and then let's keep it connected, and then I will remove those, and then I will select all of these curves and come relocate to here, and those also, and come relocate to here. So right now I have my own roof, which is this thing, and this is great because right now I can simply select this and start working on it. And it depends if you want to separate it and lower it down a little bit, or if you want to use it and then add a glass fence at the end. It depends on your own design, but for now all I care about is just extracting it and then using it for my own design. So I'm uh, going to make a copy out of this somewhere here, so probably 100, and then I will isolate this. Actually, let's freeze those, I don't want them, so I will lock, and I will work only on this for now. The second thing I want to do is to create an interesting walkway inside this. So the first thing I want to do is to simply select all of these edge ring and then create something in the middle. For now I will create it proportionally, so it's if I set 0.5 it will be exactly in the middle, and then I will see where I want my stops. So for example, let's say that I want this to be slided to proportionally, and I want it to be slided to 0.8. So the path itself is going to go up and then go in here, and then you will have this whole zone to yourself. You can create something interesting in here, and maybe you want the same to here, maybe in this case negative 0.8, and then maybe this one 0.8 as well, and then this one negative 0.8. It depends on the arrow, so if the arrow is moving in this direction and I want to move in this, so I will add the negative. If I don't, then it will be okay. And right now if I crease this, you can see that it's kind of going closer to here and then going closer to here, so it's kind of simplifying the path, which is good. If you want another walkway but it's more taller, so you can go in around this, but maybe for now I will try to make something. Actually, let's try it, why not? Let's try to create another another path, but it's going to be in this direction, and for now I'm going to say 0.5, and then I will move this and slide it to be probably 6 or 8, something like this, maybe 0.7. Yeah, I think 0.7 is fine, and then 0.7 is fine also, and I think for now this is good, and probably crease it for now. So you will end up with something like this. Maybe we should create something similar in this direction also. So let's do it. Let's go to here and create the same. So I'm going to 0.5, and then I'm going to create this, slide it to probably negative 0.8, and this one negative 0.8. I think right now is everything is good. Maybe we should crease this also. So right now I'm not interested in so the main course is going to be, or the main curves are going to be um, those, and probably those will separate zones. For example, if I want to create something like this in here, so if I go to create probably something like this and see what I have done, you can see that it's creating some kind of unnatural uh, area in here. But maybe if you want to keep it like this, you can. Let's see how it looks in the rendered view. But the problem is, like, something like this will happen if you want to create something like this. So the better way to create something like this is to subdivide it and give it more subdivisions. So if you want, we can just move this another 100 and then copy this 100 in here, and because I might need to go back to this, and then I want to subdivide this a little bit more. And when I subdivide a little bit more, it will create a lot of unnecessary edges. So it will create one edge in the middle and one edge in the middle and so on. So I don't need those edges. So to simplify the process, I will remove them just like this. So I kind of created more subdivisions, but it uh, less less details, which is really important when you are creating something fluid. And right now you can go back to here and try again to create something like this. Maybe not as harsh, or maybe we can start it from the beginning and try to create this again and extract it. So right now it's way smoother, and also it's way less complicated, or less issues with the design. And right now you will have something really interesting like this, and you can start add more details into it. So this is great. And we can, I think in this case, we can start create something similar in here. So for now I want, but I think the subdivision amount is too much, or the, let's go back a little bit and try to make this number a little bit smaller, maybe, because right now it's 1, so I mean bigger. So I will say 2 or 3. Let's say 3, and let's see what you have done. So if we did something like this, maybe you will have an issue, something similar to that. So it depends if you want to create it this way, or if you want to simply extract those. If I extracted them, I will have this issue. So extracting is not a good thing. Maybe we can do it this way, and maybe if we eliminated those and tried to create it like this, I think it might be better. Yes, I think this is a really respected zone. Maybe we can add one more. But in this case, we can fix this, by the way. We can just select both of these and maybe stitch, and you will have something like this, which is really good. And then you can just extract it, and you will have something like this, which is really important. But I want to have enough space in this zone so I can walk toward anything I want. And then I will do the same to this. So I will go to here and then do something like this. And before I eliminate, I can just fix this before I extract the surface. I can just stitch those and then stitch those. And let's do all of them and then extract all of them at once. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to select those and those, and finally I'm going to do this right here. Maybe with these, no, we didn't pick this one, so I think right now this one's fine. And then I'm going to extract and then select those two, stitch, and select those two and stitch. And right now if I selected this one and shift and double clicked, it will select all of them until it gets to this triangle, which is exactly what I want. And then I will do the same, and then I will do the same until I extract all of them. And right now if we look at what we have done, if you go to the rendered view, you will have really interesting uh, walkways and very generous amount. And then you have like by the way, I think in this case you can just make interesting paths by eliminating, or not eliminating, but let's say making all of these, selecting all of them like this, and then separating them like this. Not those, maybe not those. And then you can extract. So right now if you want, you can give this a separate material and this separate material, or it depends on how you want to do this. and you can just separate those and separate those and extract, and you can give each one of these a separate material, or you can add like certain design features or details on this, and this is really great. If you want to save some time, make sure to check out my Patreon and grab your favorite script and apply it directly to your own project. Okay, this is great. I think I forgot these because these are not stitched, and you can keep them like this, but I think the fluidity of this makes more sense because this feels too sharp. So for me, I want to join those smooth, and then just select those two and stitch them, and then go back and just separate, so everything will be just fine. And this is great so far. And one of the things that I want to create is create more details inside each zone. So for now, I'm going to select something like this. And before we move on, let's just copy everything. So I'm going to move those. Let's move them very far away. So if we said 1,000, maybe not 1,000 for now, maybe just 500. Don't want them to move very far away. And this, I'm going to copy it to 400 or maybe 500. Yes. And then I will subdivide this one more. And when I subdivide, I have the opportunity to create very interesting shapes. For example, if I want, I can just select something like this, and then add zone, something like this, which can be a good zone. Or I can just draw something on top. So I will select, if I eliminate or isolate this, and then I can select something like this and create a zone in here. So it's kind of creating a very interesting zone, and then I will extract, so I will have something like this. But it depends on your approach. So let's go a step back and keep it as simple as this, and then try again. So if I isolate, actually let's make sure, yeah, everything is good. And if I isolate this and then draw on it again, if I go back to here, and then there's insert point to mesh or subd, and then I will click on this and then add something to here, and then add another thing to here. And what I have done is basically, if I want to go to this and create an inset inside and extract, you will kind of see that I already created interesting zones inside, which can be really helpful, depend on your own design. So right now I want to create an interesting design. So for now I only eliminated one, and I will keep the other, and then I will extract, create something like this, and then create another one, like create another one in here, and then I will extract. So you'll end up with something like this. And when you look to the overall picture, you will see that we started to add more sense of fluidity for some kind of for these kind of things. But maybe let's try to add more. So for now, I will select all of them, and then maybe add inset to all of them, which is probably 1 meter. And let's see, if we extracted this, then we will have something like that, which is good. And then I will add another inset to these. So I'm going to add inset to this, another meter probably, and then another meter inset in here. And the reason for that is that maybe I want to add a separate material for this zone, and then I want to add a separate material for this zone, and then I will add maybe multiple materials. So I have the option to add all the materials that I want. Maybe I can add those as greeneries, and then this will be like a zone around them, and then we will have something very interesting. After that, we can make some kind of seating zones in here. So for now, I want to create something very interesting for those. So for example, I will select this one, and then I will inset all of these, probably 0.6. I think 0.6 is more than enough. Maybe if you have something very narrow like this, maybe you can just, you know, fix it a little bit. And then I want to extract, or before extracting, let's just make a crease for those, because I want to use that crease to subdivide. So if I subdivided this, right now again I will have this unnecessary, so I don't want it, I will eliminate it, and then subdivide one more time, and then I will have this unnecessary and eliminate it. And right now you can see that I have all of these, and they can be very generous amount of settings for everyone. So I will copy, and then I will say 0.5. And the reason I made it like this is because I want to make some kind of entrance for these. So maybe I can make the entrance in here, and then I can just simply move this to here. So I'll say 0.5, I'll move it back, and let's see what we have. So right now this is 0.6 around, kind of, so it's, I think, hopefully it's a generous amount of seating. And right now we can select all of this and all of this and these two, and just crease. And after that, maybe we can select all of this and not crease it as much. Maybe we can crease it a little bit less. So for example, I can add a soft crease and say 50. So when you look at this in a different view, you can see that it's not as sharp, it's smoother. So you will end up with something like this as a zone for seating. And there's something, we can add some kind of design feature in the middle. So right now we have all of this, which is good. Maybe I don't want to have all of this. So for example, this area feels narrow, so I'll stitch those, and I'll stitch those, and I will start from this zone. And when I go back to here, I will probably don't need all of these. Maybe I'll start from here and then stitch those and stitch those. And I'm not interested in those curves. Actually, for now I don't care about them, so maybe I just leave them. And then I want to get all of this and get all of this and extract it. And right now you will have another kind of, probably another seating in the middle. So if someone is sitting in here, maybe someone else is going to be sitting in this zone. Or if you don't want, maybe you can make it just as a green zone, and it will be a green feature. So if something like this, you can just add an edge for it and probably increase it. So in this case, I'm going to move it up a little bit. Let's say 0.25 or 0.5 in this case. So just it will pop, and then I will extract it, and then I will add another inset, but in this case I want it only to 0.3. I don't want it to be too much. And then extract it, and then I will join those and smooth them. So right now I'll have something very smooth like this, but maybe in this case I don't want this edge to be as soft, so I will add a soft crease, and then I will say 50, so it's not as soft and it's not as sharp. And then this will be a green zone in the middle of this, which is kind of interesting. So I'll start to apply materials so I can just see what I'm working with. I think in this case, if you have something like this, you can just adjust it manually if it's like weird, but it in the whole zone it might not be noticeable at all. Okay, in this zone I might do something a little bit different. So because this zone is a little bit sloped, so maybe I can just divide it into two. So for now I'm going to isolate it, and then I'm going to subdivide it, and probably I will add a zone in here. So I'm going to add an inset, something like this probably, and then I'm going to add another inset in here and something like this. Okay, and then I will join all of them but with a crease, and then I'm going to select those ones, and I'm going to Gumbo relocate and just raise them to this level, and I'm going to those and I'm going to Gumbo relocate and raise them to this level. So in this case, you will have some kind of stepped fluidity. So if you look at them, you will have a little bit of steps. So you can get this to this level or to this zone, or you can get to this zone. It depends on what you want to do, and it depends also on what you want to add to them. For now, I will try to add some greenery. So I will just make another inset, and again, when you have something like this, it might feel weird. Maybe in this case, I will just actually, in this case, because I want to render this with AI, so the more I add curves, the more it will be unnoticeable. So I'll just extract those and just keep it as it is, and then I'll hopefully the AI will understand this. And by the way, when I go to the AI, I want to go, for example, for the rendered, but maybe not all of these curves. So for maybe I will just ignore the creases or keep them. It depends. So maybe I'll ignore the creases. Actually, I will keep them so the AI will understand the edges and everything. But yeah, this is good. By the way, with AI, the less curves is more because it will help it understand. But like if you have let's say a cladding facade, then a single curve for the glass will help. But if you add all the details for the glass, it will be unreadable for the AI, so it will not matter at the end. I think for now this is good, so I will move on to something else. And this zone, let's say for some reason you want to have a let's say a glass or some kind of skylight. And for now, I will try to make a very interesting zone or multiple zones. So for now, I'm going to subdivide this, and then I'll see. Let's say that I want to have. Let's start from here and then add something like this, and I will try to make it something similar to here. So I'm going to say something like this, and then I'm going to make this to this to this. Gladly, it made exactly what I want. And right now I can just select all of these and add an inset. 0.3 is fine, and extract it, and then probably these, and add another inset and extract it like this, and then those, extract it, and then those, extract it, something like this. So I might end up with something like this, which is kind of interesting. And then maybe you can start adding different details for these. So for now, I'm going to use these as, let's say, a secondary structure, and then those might be something different. So for now, I'm going to select probably some kind of middle points and then move them up a little bit, so it will give them some kind of fluid domed shape. And then I will go to those and go to here and probably select all of this. And then I want to make a try remesh for all of them. And right now we will have something like this, so I will hide this and just hide this so you will understand what we have. I think right now this might feel a little bit too much, maybe because it's kind of too much. So for now I will say 5. Not sure. This is the length. I want the length, and 5 is going to be very, very less. So I'm going to say probably 2. Be careful with these numbers because the more you will lower it, the more you will make something, but for now I'm going to make the minimum 1 just to be careful, and then I'm going to 1. I think 1 kind of good enough, at least as curves. And then if you want to add some details for them, then this would be great. And by the way, I think if we go back to here and then show them back, you can somehow when they are in this phase, you can subdivide them, and then you will end up with something like this. And then when you add it to copy this and then show me what you are working with, I think it's already in here. And then you can just select all of these and hide. And then I want to create parametric subdivide, and I want to get first of all, we need to deconstruct the sphere and all of the faces. And after that, you will have this kind of subdivisions, which are good, but they are too much. And also, I don't want all of these. I want a range, so I'm going to say parametric subdivide, and probably this one. Let's see. If I remember correctly, this one was a number, and then it's 1 minus the same number, and then it's extracted. It's not a big deal, but it's just saved me some time. So if I did something like this and I said 0.5, 0.5 is not the number I want. I want a number between 0 and 0.5. So for now, if I said 0.1 and I added this to here, then I will end up with something like this, which is kind of an offset. It's not an offset, but it's kind of an offset. And then I want this to start from 0. I don't care, but I want it to end to 0.5 and probably increase this so I can have this like, something like that. Kind of. This is not accurate. This is just a representation of what I want to do. So if I want to go to here and then graft all of this and then loft, just make sure it's simplified, and then this one is simplified also. If we hide, you will end up with a shrinked surface. And then once I add this to here, and I'll wait a little bit, and then I will add this. So you will end up with something like this, but I think in this case, all you need to do is to align the sections. Is it good? Not all of them. Still, when some of them are not aligned. So I think in this case, we might need another one, and it will be better in this case because I don't want this. It's not good. Maybe let's try frame instead. Frame, and add this, and the frame is going to be 0.05, actually 0.95. I think frame in this case would be better. And right now you will end up with some kind of skylight. If you want, you can just go to show and subdivide them a little bit more. So once you subdivide them a little bit more, you will end up with something more subdivided like this, and then you will have this number. I think these are thin, probably good, probably bad, depends on your own approach, but for now I'm going to say 0.9, maybe, yeah, a little bit thicker just to make sense. And after that you can just probably group those and hide them, and then get the frames and the panels. So for now I'm going to get those panels and extrude them to the Z, and probably negative, and the negative is going to be whatever. So for now I'm going to say 0.15 probably, or 0.1, or it depends. But right now you will have some I want the frames, sorry. And right now you will have your own let's say skylight maybe, or you can try the remesh approach. It depends if you want something triangulated, if you want something uh, based on the subd itself. It's your own design. Do whatever you want with it. But I think in this case, yes, I want to do this, but for the AI sake, I'm only interested in these. Maybe even not these. I will just show, and I'm interested in these. So I want those, but I want to get the these ones. So because I want the edges of the surface to show, but I don't want to show the subd ISO curves. So for now, if I go to the rendered and hide those for a second, right now I don't see anything, which is good because I don't want to show the subd wires. It's too much. So if I hide the subd wires, then I want to see those as some kind of something else. So I'm going to get only those surfaces, and I'm going to bake and yes, and then hide, and then I'm going to here and show the subd edges, so you will have something like this. Maybe it's too much, it depends on how the AI will read it, but for now this is good. Okay, and I think for those two I will try to do something simpler. So for now I want to create more steps like this for the greenery. So I'm going to grab this one, and I want to go to the shaded, and for now I want to create something like this, and probably something like this, and probably something like this. Actually, maybe not this one. Just let's see how we will end up with. Let's say one, and let's say one, and let's go to here and say one, and see what we have done. So we will end up with something like this. And sometimes these are not really good because it's not fully it's too smooth. So to avoid this issue, again, you will need to subdivide. So we will hit a few steps back, and then while I'm having those, I will subdivide, and then I will have something like this. So when I select all of these and do something like this, you will have something similar to this, which is exactly kind of what I want. And this will make it a little bit narrower and make more sense. So something like this. And let's see the whole picture. So right now, if I go to the rendered, and right now I will have very interesting shapes. I think these are too much. I'm not sure. But for now, I will keep them. And these, right now I have this, so it's good because I can just bring it back and work on it a little bit. So it's important in subd. Usually I forget, and when I forget, if I forget something like this, let's say that I don't have it, and I somehow worked on it and it's not here anymore, then I will have to create it again. So for now, I'm going to do something like this and then eliminate those, and then create a bridge, which is good. And then I will go to here and go to here and then close those, and then extract it again. But it's not, it's sometimes it's not that easy also, because you might have more subdivisions or more details or something like different. But anyway, this is good. I want to do something with this also. For now, let's make it simple again, because I'm going to take a very simple shot and just uh, try to make something interesting with AI, hopefully. So for now, I'm going to create something in here. So I will isolate these, and these are a little bit sloped. So maybe I will use these as something for solar panels or something. Maybe the sun is coming from this way, it depends. Or if the sun is coming from a different way, then maybe you can just select this and extrude it, and then, or before you extrude it, maybe inset a little bit, and then raise this inset, and then probably let's say the sun is coming from this direction, so most of the day. So I'm going to do something like this, and I'm going to raise those. And for now, because this looks a little bit weird, so I'm going to uh, either manually do it, probably manually it will be better, just fix it like this, and then I will just select all of these and do something like this and extract it, and then this will have a different material. And maybe in this case, let's eliminate this. Actually, it's too much. Let's try a different approach. Let's extract those and then add some interesting curves. So for now, I will try to isolate and go to this and add some curves here and add some curves in here. Probably something like this, and then I'll just select those and select those and add a zone, and then select those and add another zone, and then you will end up with something like this. And you can just add solar panels on these somehow, probably. It depends again on your design or your own approach. These looks so weird, so for now I will join those smooth, and then I don't want to see all of these mess, so I'll just blend them, and then I will select those and select those and extract, so I will have something like this, which is good. It's actually better, and I will do the same for this. And we forgot to join, and I will just simply stitch those, and from here to here, and extract. So this is good. So let's see the whole picture. I think the whole picture in general looks very interesting and have so many potential. I'm not happy with those, so personally I want to delete those and also delete those because I want to fill what I have said in here. So there are multiple options for this. The first one is to bring the main object back and start work on it again, or you can just, because they are not very close, so probably something like this. Maybe you can just try to close it, and right now we have single fan, and there is automatic, which is usually a quad. So let's see. I think this might be interesting, so let's isolate it, maybe not. And I think the other option is to actually batch it. So for example, we can create, I think in this case it was something like this. If we, not this one, just be careful what you are choosing. And then I'm going to bridge those. And in this case, it's going to bridge them with 1. So I'm going to say 2. Okay, and in this case, we have to make this stitched with this, and this will be stitched with this. And this is why I'm saying it's kind of a hassle, because you will have to rebuild everything again. But in this case, I prefer to just remove this whole thing and then bring back one of these, which are the original one, and I think 500 meters. is going to be good, and then probably even design something better. So for now I'm going to say isolate and try to create maybe 3, but in this case I will try different techniques. So for example, I want to move from this point to the middle, not all the way up, and then I will go to here. Actually, let's try to reverse. So I'm going from here and then to the middle and then to here. So when you select those, you will have some kind of a zone and then another zone in here and then another zone in here. So hopefully it makes sense. Let's try to make this from the middle to this, and then I want to subdivide everything because I want this to be something like this. And let's see what we have done. I hope it's not bad. I don't want this. Let's extract this and then let's try this. Maybe it has a potential because you know it has some kind of interesting curves, but I think the middle, if we go few steps back, I think these might need to go a little bit maybe to the middle of this. I think so these will have a little bit more space, and maybe in this case let's not subdivide, let's add this in here. 1 is too much, so I'm going to say 0.5 and extract it, and then 0.5 extract it, and then 0.5 yeah, this is the problem because in this case this will, if we eliminate or if we isolate this, yes, this will create a problem. This is why we need to subdivide. So I'll just select everything and subdivide, and then yeah, I think I'm optimistic about this one. So I will do something like this and something like this, and then something like not this one, not this one, and then something like this. I think this might be interesting, probably. And after that, if you want, we can just go to all these middle curves and then raise them again. So right now, if we did something like this a little bit, then we will have some kind of buffness a little bit for these. So you might want them to be like that. Maybe even those might need to be a little bit more, and this one might be a little bit more. Yeah, kind of, I think. And then you can just bring all of these to here, set multiple p-reps, and then I think right now maybe those will make much more sense and simplified version of what we need to do. So I'm going to bake those, yes, and just like that, if we show everything and go to the rendered view, you will have some kind of interesting features for this roof. I don't want the tutorial to be more longer than this, but you get the idea. I hope I explained everything, and I hope you have learned something very interesting from all of these modeling techniques. Before I move on, I forgot one more thing, which is what's important in the whole thing, which is exactly how to access the whole roof. And I forgot it, and I need to go back a little bit and figure it out. So I will isolate this, and right now I will create. Let's say that I want. Let's select all of this. I don't want the whole thing. I will try to make an like. Let's say that I'm selecting these. Okay, and I will add a curve in the middle like this, and then I will select this middle curve and shift and double click on the other one and add this again on both sides, and then I will try to add something like this and then select those and add a crease, and then I'm not interested in the middle one, so I will eliminate it, and then I will select those ones and extract them which is exactly what I want. And then I want to do something similar in here, but in here it's going to be a little bit different because we want to create the stairs only in the middle. So this is a little bit tricky because we forgot to add one more curve in the middle, and to add it right now I'm going to make join and probably crease to keep this middle curve, and then I will just select all. And after that I want, if I said do something like this, I'm not sure it's the best because it will create these kind of things, which are not the best but are not the worst also. But I think in this case maybe we'll try bevel, and bevel is not the best in our case, but let's try it anyway. And right now I'm beveling like this, and then I will see what I have done. So I will simply remove this middle curve, and then I will try to extract this. And right now if I, let's add some materials for all of this. So right now if I selected all of these and then added, let's go to here and select and custom and try to add probably a tannish color, kind of, let's see, and maybe those will have a little bit of grayish color, maybe something light gray or gray like this, and assign to objects. And let's see what we have done. Let's go to the rendered and let's select those and add greenery, create new and custom, and make it some kind of greenery, but let's not make it like very aggressive, something like this, and assign to object. And those, actually let's add this as a greenery also, so I'm going to assign to object, and then maybe we can select those and this and probably this and probably this, maybe with this, and then we can assign a different material. So I'm going to custom and assign a different color, and in this case let's say a, not sure, gray, maybe another different kind of tannish, something like this maybe. And then we can add, maybe you can add this to the green, so we might have a little bit of shrubs or like a small grass in this surrounding the whole zone, or not, depends. Let's make it, actually let's select this and match it to this, and I don't want this curve to show, so I'm going to remove it, remove the crease. And what else, these, for now I want the, I'm not interested in the subD in these, so I'm going to, let's move those up, just let's say 10 for example, and then I'm going to join those and hide them, and then I'm going to move those down, so I'm going to say 10, and those I'm going to give them probably some kind of custom material again, but I want it to be cyanish a little bit and probably transparent, so in this case I'm going to say 50 or maybe 80, something like this. Maybe AI will understand it, hopefully. And in this case I want these to be, I'm assuming, let's say these might be uh, panels, but let's make it darker a little bit because these are too aggressive. Okay, and by the way we can select those also and add more subdivisions, but in this case maybe we can add subdivisions in this zone. So we can select set multiple, and then before we do that let's add a let's add uh, subdivide parameter, subdivide surface, and right now you can see that it's getting some interesting, but in this case I think if we copy these, because the triangles end up with these kind of shapes, as you can see the triangles subdivide a little bit more, so you need to subdivide the subd itself before you subdivide them in Grasshopper. So in this case I'm going to duplicate those to 10 and then subdivide those, and when you subdivide those all of them are quads now. So when you do set multiple, before we do that let's disable those and then set multiple, and then everything will be subdivided exactly the same, which is exactly what I want in this case. And then I will hide those, and right now it's subdividing 5 or 4 in this case, like the range is 5 but the surfaces are 4. So I'm going to say range, and right now it's 10. I don't want it to be 10 because it's too much, so I'm going to say 3 or 2, it depends. I think for now I'll keep it like this, and then I'm going to bake, yes, okay, and hide those, and then I'm going to group those and then match those and then hide and probably push those 10 right here. So for now I'm going to group those and then I will show, and anything is not in the group, if I hide this, show, yes, and then if I hide this, anything in here I want to hide it, and then I want to hide all of this and all of this. So I'm going to add it to another layer, probably layer 1 or something, change object layer and then hide it and then show. Okay, right now I need just to figure one more thing out, which is I'm going to ungroup those and then select these 3, and then I'm going to uh, for now I'm going to just go to here and I'm going to get a prep, so set multiple prep, and right now I'm going to get the I'm going to hide those for a second, and then I'm going to get the edge prep because I don't want to deal with all of these middle curves, and after that I want to get to join all of them and get the discontinuity and then shatter everything, shatter those with this, and right now I'm going to sort all of them with the length, and after that I'm going to select the longest ones, so I'm going to list item and I'm going to reverse, and after that right now I'm selecting the first and then the second, and after that I'm going to flip one of them and loft this one with this one. So right now I kind of rebuilt or created a single surface for everything because I don't want to deal with any unnecessary things that will create a hassle for me. And after that I will just select this, and right now I want to get all of these in here, and I this is the point. I will select any point in here. For example, let's select another point, just any lower point, and then let's see what we have. So we should have something like this, and in this case I don't want these lower curves. So if I deconstructed if I get the mid point for all of these, and let's see, first of all I want to trim the tree and simplify, and after that I want to get all of these, get the mid curve for all of them, and deconstruct and then sort. Or not sort, let's cull pattern, and I'm going to cull anything closer to the zero. So I'm going to say if it's closer to the zero, if it's equal with tolerance to the zero, the z, then cull it. So I'm going to say 0. And let's see, actually I want this one. So right now it's eliminating anything in here. And this, I'm going to use it to break all of these, but there's something not very good in here. Let's show the surface. Maybe in this case, let's ignore this first, this last one. So I'm going to just probably 51, 52, 51, 50. Yeah, for now I'm just going to ignore this last one. And then I'm going to, let's see, right now I should have all of these. If I simplify this series, then I should have maybe, and then right now I should have these simplified. Okay. So everything is good. And after that, I want to split all of this BRIP. So I'm going to say curve with BRIP, or maybe I think it would be better if we split them BRIP with BRIP. So let's say that I want to split, I'm going to extrude all of them, probably extrude them 1 in the Z, and I'm going to move them something like this, and I'm going to move them with another Z, but in this case I want it to be 0.5, negative 0.5, negative 0.5, because I want it to be a little bit sinking inside, and I'm going to say give me the intersection between this, and actually let's split PREP multiple, and then give me the I'm going to, those will be the cutters, and those will be the surfaces themselves, will be the main object to split, and that's good because right now I should have something like this, which is good. And then I'm going to extrude all of this. Actually, I'm going to project it, but first of all, I want to explode all of this, and probably after exploding, I want to get the mid curve and get deconstruct and sort all of these, because I want this lower curve for each one. So this will matter. I want to list item, or maybe in this case, maybe the upper curve, it depends. And then I will get the midpoint for this and project everything. So right now, if I have these as 99 and these we need to trim, to simplify, and then we are going to project, and these will be the plans, and these. Okay, so if we hide all of this and then maybe hide this also, you can see that we kind of created a stair, which is exactly what I want. All I need right now is to simply extrude it in the Z, and it depends how much you want to extrude, but for now I'll say negative 0.5, just something like this, and then bake it. Yes, okay. And that is the stair that I want. Let's go to here and to the this and probably assign this to it. And this is the final result. So right now we have everything. Yes, this is one of the things that is not really good, is to have something like this. And to fix it, we might need to do one more thing, which is to get all of the discontinuity parts, which was somewhere in here. Actually, let's create it. Let's go to the discontinuity and then shatter, and just make sure everything is grafted in here, and then rebuild all of these surfaces, all of these curves. And after rebuilding them, join them again, join, and then make a, let's say, boundary surface. So right now everything is cleaner, and then extrude it. So hopefully this time it's not as messed up. And let's bake. Just make sure this number is a little bit higher, so 100 is 10 is not good, so maybe 100. Just bake. So right now everything is good. And let's assign the material back, and this is the final results, and everything is clean. Again, what's happening in here? I think there's something with this extrude, so I'm going to bake them and then extrude them in here. So negative 0.5. Let's hope nothing happened. Yes, in here is better. Something is not good with the grasshopper extrude, but for now this is good, so everything is fine. And that's it for the modeling part and the grasshopper and everything. The grasshopper part today is not as complex. Maybe this part is a little bit for rebuilding those SubD parts and creating the stairs, but otherwise I think everything else is just basic modeling and SubD modeling, so maybe today was focusing a little bit more on that. And right now I will test the AI and see if I can get really good results for this. Okay, so I'm trying the AI. So right now, look, X doesn't, I mean, it understands the curves, but it represents them in a very different way than what I want. And I'm waiting for this one. But I moved on to Nano Banana or Google Gemini, and it does give me some of the curves. Unfortunately, it replaced some of them with, like, it kind of mirrored everything. So when you look at this is the image I provided. Let me show it in, yeah, it's here. So so he kind of copied this one and added to here, and then he simplified this and removed this. So it's not exactly what I have done. It replaced some of the curve, and also I tried to say that like each color, what is it exactly, but it's also doesn't understand. And at least it added some interesting features around, so that's kind of interesting. But I tried to make it more realistic and more vibrant, but it's just stuck to this. I'm not really good with AI, so let's just establish that. And I tried multiple times, and then I failed miserably, and then I tried again, and then maybe this has some potential. Like, at least it does understand that there's some kind of things happening. But I will try again and then see if I can reach something. Yeah, this is bad. So maybe I'll try both again, and the final result I will post it on social media. But yeah, this is the AI part. I'm still figuring things out in the AI. If you reach this point of the video, I want to say thank you so much for watching all the way through, and thank you so much for being patient, because this episode and this kind of modeling and detailing requires a lot of patience. And I tried as much as possible to simplify it, but it's just need to be explained this way, so and need to be experienced this way, because sometimes when you are designing something, you have to go back and forth between simple subd and then subdivided subd, and then you have to go back and forth and try this and try that. So it's a lot of iterations. So thank you so much, and thank you for subscribing. And if you are not subscribing, kindly please subscribe, and see you in the next episode.